Hello everyone, today I wanted to succinctly render the top 3 problems about Street Fighter V transparent. These gripes about the game are subjective, so if your gripes pertaining to Street Fighter V are disparate from mine, then please feel free to express them in the comment section beneath this video. I would love to hear them. Alright, let's get started. The first issue pertaining to Street Fighter V is that just like the precursor of Street Fighter video game, Street Fighter V is preordained to have an abysmal netcode. Unfortunately, this perpetual calamity will result in players experiencing connectivity issues and impede their ability to be able to play the game online lag-free without experiencing connectivity issues. This problem is just dire in all facets. I would love to relish the online mode of Street Fighter V, however I will not be able to because lag will be incessant and connectivity issues will persist. Moving on, another issue pertaining to Street Fighter V is that it will utilize an intricate combo system that is cumbersome to master. I just cannot fathom why the control schemes cannot be intuitive, streamlined, and simplistic as they are for video games apart of the Super Smash Bros. Series. This is just a major calamity within itself. This impedes noobs from being able to master the game off the get-go. The characters are arduous to control. Optimally, it's too bad that the combat system cannot be refined, especially in a day when people only have a finite amount of time to play video games. I would love to be able to master the controls without putting any thought or effort into the game, but your sentiments may differ from mine. You may prefer to play Street Fighter utilizing an intricate control scheme, but for me as a deterrent, I would rather utilize Super Smash Bros. For Wii U controls to play Street Fighter V if I could, but I'm not going to be able to map the controls to my preference. They're already pre-programmed, so I'm confined to utilizing the default control schemes. What a shame, what a pity. What was me? There's nothing that I could do to modify the situation. I'm not a Street Fighter V developer after all. Alright, this is the final problem. What is it, you may ask? Well, let me just answer to that inquiry. Let me render the final issue transparent. Buying Street Fighter V at its hefty retail price of over $60 will not grant you access to the full game, since you need to lay out for more money than $65 to download all the content for the game. What happened in the era when you could buy a video game such as a Nintendo 64 game and receive all the game's content on the ROM amid buying it? Buying Street Fighter V at a premium price of $65 means not having access to all the game's contents. Yet again, this is just a dire problem. It's just unbearable. To be able to play the full Street Fighter V game, you may need to lay out at least $80 or more. I'm going to make the arbitrary assumption that downloadable content will be available for the game that was omitted from the vanilla version of Street Fighter V. In order to be able to access the game's full contents, you'll likely need to pay at least $80, if not far more, to be able to download additional characters, skin packs, and other in-game items. So, those are my personal gripes about the game. I doubt that Capcom will rectify the ongoing issues. I doubt that they'll do anything to remedy the situation. I'll likely wait for the price to plunge to $10 or less before I pick up a copy of Street Fighter V. I would love to be able to procure this game, but it's not worth the hefty retail price that it commands upon launching, so I may have to wait until Street Fighter 7 is out before I can afford to purchase Street Fighter 5, with other repercussions associated with being extremely poor. If it's not free, it's not for me. That's my motto. What else? I love the idea that the graphics are enhanced in contrast to the predecessor Street Fighter video games. Hopefully this video game will add new novelties to the series. Hopefully it will not be completely appalling. I doubt that it will supersede Street Fighter 4, the arcade edition, in all facets, but who knows, we will see what will transpire. The future is an enigma. But the aforementioned 3 gripes about the game that I expressed earlier deter me from wanting to play the game or even buy it. So I'm not very excited about the prospect of playing the game when I could play superior video games such as J-Stars, Victory Versus, and Naruto Shippuden, Ultimate Ninja Storm Revolution. I also love Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 and Super Smash Bros. Melee. Those games are superior video games in contrast to Street Fighter 5, and they can be purchased at a much lower price than Street Fighter 5, so you may want to forgo the opportunity to purchase Street Fighter 5 upon its launch and express a buyer behavior of a lagger by waiting years until the price plunges down to $10 before you obtain a copy of the game. By then you may not even yearn to possess a game. You may change your mind. But those are my thoughts about the game's foibles. The game hopefully will have some merit, since the graphics will be augmented. They'll likely be rendered in native 1080p. Hopefully the character roster will not be smaller than the character roster in Street Fighter 4, the arcade edition. But if it is, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be bewildered. I have low expectations out of video game developers. Sequels do not always trump the prequels. The trend of inferior sequel games deters me from wanting to play sequel video games. I'd rather play the superior, lower priced prequel video games. But that's just my subjective opinion. I'm done ranting and raving. I hope you found this video to be enthralling, insightful, and amusing. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.